Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the live Facebook tonight. So while we are starting, I hope you could share this video in your timeline as I'm going to be sharing in here, and we will start in 1 or 2 minutes. So thank you for coming, and definitely tonight we're going to be giving you another update on the rubber gloves. First, you heard it on Trade VSA in here, and of course, this program is also sponsored by VSA 360, your preferred software analytics that helps you to trade better in here. So let me just do a couple more sharing in here, and we're going to be getting along the way in here. All right, and so if you find that if you have any question with regards to the rubber glove, do feel free and to pencil in there and give me a comment on what you see potentially in here. But as I said before, a lot of this really is more of telling the story and some of the opportunity that I currently see in this market in here. All right, so this is where we are heading to, and let's do a bit more sharing in here. So I really appreciate it if you could also share that in your timeline, and we're going to be going in here. I hope you have a great evening in here, and let's get going soon. Okay. Okay, so we're done with that. We're going to be starting right now in here. Okay, that's great. Let's get moving, and let's see how we have to. Okay, let's get started. All right, welcome everybody. Welcome to our live Facebook. That's right, live Facebook at our usual 9:30 in here. I'm your host Martin Wong, and tonight is another update on the rubber glove, as I see some great opportunity arises in here. I've seen it early on, but right now, if those of you who have catch me in the breakfast show, I did talk about that particular stock, which is AP4 Riverstone, listed in SGX. Basically, it's a Malaysian company. So I'll give you an in-depth breakdown what I potentially see in the market that you have so far. So will the rubber glove rise again in here? Previously, you know, we had this last talk that we did somewhere back in September, and there were a lot of people usually at that time. But right now, when there are lack of people interested in the topic, this is where usually we see the market going higher. It's always been like this because of the smart money. That's right. Know about the smart money operator and be ahead with the volume spread analysis, right? That is one of the technique that was used by my seafood here, Tom Williams. And also last week, we did have our market conference. That's right, our market conference, Trade VSA market conference. Those of you who came, really appreciate for attending in here. And also you can catch a copy of the summary and insight from our website, Trade VSA, or in our smart Robie apps in here. Now let's get on to where we are in regards to the rubber gloves, okay? And also a special congratulations to one our very cool student, a turtle trader, 2022 winner in here, Miss Roslyn Tay, that made a tremendous return. This is part of our program and examination, part of our competition here, 21% in 2 months, compared what to the KLCI could have done so far in here. Congratulations again also to the, not only to Miss Roslyn being the winner, we also have our first runner-up, Zenali, and also Arik, right, being the turtle trader, right, that we always wanted to groom them in Malaysia through our program Trade VSA and our analytics, so where our members and our students would definitely benefit. If you have not been successful or benefit from the year 2021, why not use some of our products and consider some of the programs we talked about in here so far. Of course, tonight, a little bit of disclaimer, some of the stocks that we have here, we do have certain position in here. And let's start off with where we left off That's right. Okay, back in 22nd of June 2021, and you can watch that video also on our YouTube channel in here, where I talk about the rubber glove. Would there be another wave and how to find them? So just going to bring back you to where we were in September, right? And right now to almost this March here, almost 6 months later in here. And now if you want to watch that video, go over to our YouTube Trade VSA channel and subscribe, and make sure you were able to find the rubber gloves update that we did back in September. So at the same time, we also posted on our i3 Investor as an author, top 3 rubber gloves that you must know before investing or should buy on weakness or maybe sell, because ASP, the average selling price, which is the so-called one of the indicators that everyone is looking at, when will the ASP normalize, right? So we did talk about this in here, and at that time we were also explaining what were the main reason in here, and it actually boils down to these 3 reasons that I want to bring up the update way back in September 2021. First and foremost, let me just bring up my laser pointer here. We were talking about the peak prices hitting $134 US dollar in there. At that time, we also felt that it was really unrealistic, because we know the COVID was in the midst of it. And remember, smart money always use this pretense of rising ASP, and they sell ahead. Of course, many of the public, including some of you people I do know, who got into the rubber glove because of the COVID-19, and eventually some of you have also experiences losses because you're not able to exit in and find it very difficult to cut loss. And this is always a telltale sign, especially when it comes to smart money using this kind of information. So it's also important for many of you to understand that looking at the information that we have, and also our channel, we're able to help you to put you in the more accommodate, at least by chart, and also looking at the fundamental that we have in here. Now, I talked about way back in September that the normalization of the ASP, average selling price, will be from to $35 or $45 from a $65 to $75. So that's almost a 50% drop. And that was pre-COVID time, remember, right? It was only $20 to $22 in here. So there's still a bit more room of going in. As long as the ASP prices continue in the downtrend, no accumulation yet, then we will see rubber glove is there. But something has turned out to be quite interesting. It is the clean room glove. I say it already, the keyword is a clean room glove. All right, but let's go to the second one, which is a low of competition, which China has come into the picture, and since then has really taken a global market share really higher from 16% to 23%. And also because of the falling ASP, the average selling price, we see many of our so-called big customers are from the US and the Europe right now. Even with the Russian and Ukraine war, many of them continue to so-called play wait and see. No doubt many of them also have stocked up some of these rubber glove and continue to use the existing one while waiting for it to deplete before ordering. And that has pretty much played into why the rubber glove sector, it is what today in here. All right. So those are the 3 reasons at that time in September, based on information that we have. Many people want to wait and see. We have the falling ASP prices and also the incoming of the China market. Now, since then, a lot has changed, and let me just show you the year-to-date comparison of the rubber glove maker between China, listed in China, SGX and KLSE. So, of course, first thing you will notice is the yellow line. Why is the yellow line running ahead of it? Is it a white swan, or is it a first movers sector? So that's the reason why this live FD attempt to investigate whether we're having a white swan, this is a anomaly that the market running, or is this a first mover in sector. Now, if you look on this on the right hand side here, we have a Sri Trang that was listed in the Thailand Stock Exchange in here. Then we have the Inco Medical listed in Shenzhen, Hatalega, we all know that one, KLSE, Blue Sail Medical listed in Shenzhen, the China one, And 8K7 UG Healthcare, which is another Malaysia one, listed in SGX, Top Glove and BVA Top Glove SGX listed. So all of them seems to be in one group clumping together. You can see the Sri Trang is down 13% since January. Hatta is down 18%. 002 Blue Sail is down 25. 8K7 UG is down 25. Top Glove 26 and 27. But you have this AP4 moving up 48%. And of course, Green Pentagon was first to catch you up there. And if you have Green Pentagon, you will notice this. And if you have followed some of my talk in the breakfast show, I have talked about AP4 also in here. Now, one thing that really differentiates on AP4 is the way they run their business. Okay. Now, of course, you can read all about it in Riverstone, but just let me give you a summary in here. AP4 has done almost 30% of its contribution revenue coming in from clean room, while medical glove about 70%. No doubt the other glove maker, like Top Glove, Hatta Lega, they do some clean room in there, but the contributions are much smaller. And during the last analyst week, sometime in February 2022, the management of the Riverstone did talk about clean room having a better so-called margin in terms of ASP and also better order. And we all know clean room is related to what industry? Yes, that's right. It's related to semiconductor industry. We all know semiconductor has been a short supply in here, and anything on semiconductor previously, I know the market has fallen in here, but tonight we have seen market make rebound back the US market. So check out tonight when the market closes at 9 at 10:30, because we are seeing likelihood of a ceasefire between the Russia and the Ukraine. So you're going to see a lot of semiconductors moving. Is it why Riverstone is moving higher? Because of the clean room. Clean room are related to semiconductor related to Russian and Ukraine. And when Russia and Ukraine stops, market goes back up. Is it what it means? Right? Interesting, the relationship that I'm trying to tell you here. So if you look back from here, this is a much bigger chart. You can see definitely Riverstone, as much even in the month of January, we can see this accumulation started 1 or 2 months. One thing for sure, when it comes to analyzing sector, like me, using the trade VSA and volume spread analysis, looking for evidence of smart money accumulation in here. And remember, right, you won't hear it first. Usually we'll hear it last if you are a retailer. So that's why it's important to pay attention to chart reading. Those of you who pay attention to chart reading will be rewarded dearly for AP4, which is the Riverstone in here. So you will notice way back in January, you can see the line chart. Of course, I want to show you a line chart for comparison in here. You can see it is already going into accumulation stages in here. And then eventually, some markets are picking up right now, and you can see the Hatta Lega has already turned Green Pentagon, but not yet. We still want to see that beautiful formation that we talk about using market stages and also using peak value, which I'll show you in a few more slides. All right. Now going forward, on the same time, March 2022. Okay. On the 28th of September 2021, okay, 21, we talk about these 3 rubber gloves, and you could see at that particular time we talk about the ASP prices. Now in September, this was the time in here ASP prices had dropped to almost 30 or 40%, but the stock price continued to fall when we last talked about in September in here. You can see down to 20% in here. So as long as we see the ASP normalizes in here and eventually may pick up depending on supply and demand, then we'll see the so-called moving up of the stock price, like what we're seeing right now with AP4 on Riverstone with their clean room. So that will also give you a clue that many of the eventual rubber glove maker will switch to clean room gloves because of the margin higher, or maybe they want to enjoy a bit of success what AP4 has driven. So that's the next point that you want to talk about in here, whether these rubber gloves, all right, they can tweak their production to go into clean room gloves in here. If you do, some of these stocks start to come out, and you can see smart money. Again, I will use the pretense to say, hey, maybe this company is going to clean room in here. That's a good trade idea. They're just going to spin it again, and stock price go higher in here. So make sure you hit first on Trade VSA in here. So going back in September 2021, we talk about the June to September 2020, right? They were around 65 to 75 US dollar, but right now it's normalizing to 35. So you can see that drop. It's the 50% drop in here, but the stock prices, looking at the Pentagon guide in here for the healthcare, right? It's about 20%. Right now, we can see on the, just on top of me here with the red ink here, we are still waiting for that green Pentagon and perhaps a double bottom. This was a good one, double bottom, the market shakeout, but I can tell you this is akan datang soon. Just waiting only, okay? You just need to wait for that green Pentagon to come. So for our February update, looking at the fundamental too, we want to see Hata, which is the second largest listed company, has a 259 million profit after tax, but quarter on quarter, it's down 72%. Why? Because of the falling ASP prices. Then we look at Kosan, the third largest glove maker, hit also 218 profit after tax, but also down 59%. Very similarly, Supermax down 93%, hit only 48 million profit after tax. Riverstone, right, had 110 million after profit, but also down 58%. Very similar to Kosan. Comfort listed was a total loss, and then finally the biggest, the father, right, which is Top Glove, the largest glove maker, hit 186 million profit after tax, all right, excluding December, but down 69%. So like it or not, Riverstone also falls into the same industry. It also faces down quarter on quarter profit. It's not up, but it's also down. But why is Riverstone getting that early movement in here? What do you think? Let me know. Type out in there. All right. So here also you can see why Riverstone is different. Now, if you go over to their website in here, first thing you will notice, of course, all things are glove, right? But in here is the clean room, right? That's the one on the bottom in here. And they have healthcare, which is the medical glove. They only make two kinds of glove, the big one, the clean room, and the healthcare. That's all they do, right? And the analyst from RHP in here, what they actually did on this report, 23rd of February, right? From a sell, you notice here, from a sell on top of me here, right? See that one? They went into neutral. That's all they did. And one of the reasons why is because clean room margin holding up neutral. That's all they done. So with that, the market start to move up already. You can see that, right? But on the 31st of January, Green Pentagon came in much earlier, even 3 weeks earlier on. So what do you think? Smart money would have known this kind of report will be out, right? So they started to buy in here. So all things being said in here, I'm going to show you also a timeline of all this. Some going to neutral. They hasn't put in the buy yet. Just imagine once a buy is there, then you'll see some of these stocks started to move up. But it's just from selling to neutral. All right, that's for AP4. Now, if you look at the chart wise in here, since 31st of January 2022, from the Green Pentagon, AP4 has moved up 46%. All right, and you just now we talked about 23. But let's take a look at the impact of the analyst. If you think that the analyst timeline is not that important, now let's take a look at Top Glove first. Then we're going to compare to Riverstone. So if you look from the right side of the screen here to go to the left, and you can see from 10th of March, 10th of June, 2021 to 13th of September, 28th of September, then go to 13th of December, 2021 to more recent, just last week was 10th of March. So you can see from buy, neutral, 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 sell. Okay, from neutral, sell, then sell in here. All right. So if you look from a timeline, okay, going back just to March last year, this was the buy. All right. If you had bought it, you would have lost money. Then they downgraded to a neutral, means just keep in the default. Neutral, neutral, neutral. As the market go lower, they, same analyst, put up a sell here. The red color is sell, and right now it's also a sell. All right. So all being said, right? If you have followed them, the analysts, to be frank with you, there's not much of a difference. If you have hold on in here, you still lose money. If you have sold it here, right, maybe it's safe, but right now it could be another opportunity. So that's why chart reading is very important. We want to see this timeline in here. Now, if you look in terms of Top Glove right now, just market just closed. Before the pre-COVID, it was around 150. It went up almost 559%. That's why we use the peak value. And since then has down 83%. There's no green pentagon yet. So that tells you Top Glove is not ready to buy yet. We still want to see this moving up here. A little bit of moving up to the green pentagon, just like what we see here. That's what we want to see. If we don't get any of those, just stay away first, okay? So having the market stages of our Pentagon Guider as well as for our trade BSA will definitely put you into it. Now let's take a look at Harta Lega, the analyst opinion calendar. This is from January 2021 to February. We have on 19th of January 2021 last year, buy, January was still buy, then downgraded to DG mean downgraded neutral, then this one outly neutral, then neutral, then neutral. All right. So if you look from here, we got two buy call, also market fall. Then we got a neutral here, neutral here, neutral. But the buy call was here, following what we say. So not much of a difference, really. You should just basically follow the trend. If you need to cut, you cut. All right, that would be much better in here. So if you look from here, the Harta Lega, it has formed a double bottom right now. You can see here. From once it started to turn green, you can see the market move up. You got double bottom on the weekly has a green pentagon in here, but right now it is very still accumulating. You got a nice double bottom in here, fall through. You will notice Harta Lega hasn't formed that double bottom. We need to see that double. So Harta Lega, because it's neutral, we just wait for it. Maybe the analyst will put up a buy call, maybe in a couple of months down the road in here, but definitely you want to see it first on the green pentagon, only through our trade BSA package here. So right now it's 457. Now let's take a look at the analyst calendar for January 21 for Riverstone, which is, we have seen that market move up. Maybe it's different, right? They put a buy call, but if you notice, 28th of June 2021 downgraded from a buy to a sell, peak here, then neutral, sell. See, 11th of November, they have a sell. They have turned back to neutral. That's all they did. The clean room margins are holding up. So if you look at the story that the analyst bring, it's also very confusing, right? It does a sell, then neutral, then the market move back. So if you look back, again, we draw the timeline here. Sell, okay, then the market broke through. Then here, stay neutral, then you have another sell. And this neutral was the one that causes the market to go up, right? Here, neutral didn't want to go, but instead you have a sell. So what is actually going on, right? Interesting, no. So the only last report that they have was 23rd of February. Clean room margin holding up report. But the 1st of January, green pentagon appeared much earlier. They appeared much earlier in here. So if you look at this portion onwards, right, you will notice green pentagon right now, it's moved up 46.5%, going up to about $1.07, okay, 107 in here. A nice move in here, but definitely green pentagon. But all that makes a difference was that clean room came out in here. Now, the most important question is, how do we turn, example, AP4 to an opportunity? Now, on the February 13 and 14, we'll be doing our VSA mini course. Okay, that will be 2 days on Wednesday. So you can sign up for it here. Just subscribe to our plugin in here, and I'll plug in our VSA 360, and we will teach you how and the methodology in turning crisis into opportunity and finding your next bagger. So make sure. And here are some of those which I found iFast that I bought sometime back in 2020. Made about 700% return using the same method too, finding multi-bagger in here, using Pentagon Guider, weekly chart, peak value, market stages. Let's go to another one. And also Apple, my average price about 110, 45% return so far. Weekly Pentagon, peak value and market stages in here, right? And another one, NIDAC, average price is 8,000 yen here, 50% return so far, again, using the same method that I will be showcasing you on March 13 and 14 in here. So these are some of the examples that I have. And finally, KGB, 120% return so far at 62.5 cents in here, again using weekly Pentagon peak and value. So these are something that you're able to do right now, especially now if we are seeing sign of the ceasefire between Russia and Ukraine. another next up move, which some of you have came and listened to me on the war in here. So definitely those are the stocks that you want to be looking at and having this opportunity here. All right. So so usually one of the things that we talk about to look out for is 5 days before the healthcare turning green pentagon. That's one of the first trading rules we are looking at in here. Through our VSA 360 in here, we want to look back 5 days. So right now, we haven't seen any green pentagon yet. But if you've seen green pentagon, like you see, we look back on the 5 days, we want to see the kind of setup that we teach in our masterclass. So make sure you know about the 5 day before the healthcare turning green pentagon in here. So on the Riverstone itself, you will notice in here, right? And I'm going to share with you in here when the peak hit the valley here right now, right? When it first on the green pentagon here, that's where it started to turn green pentagon. That's what we're going to do, all right? So here we're going to do a walkthrough in here, looking for the first green pentagon. So to give you a kind of simulation, be familiar with the green pentagon, red pentagon, look for common characteristic at stage 1 and get the plugin in here. So let's do a demo here. So I'm going to bring out the here. Okay, and I'm just going to switch off. So we're going to be switching to a weekly chart, right? And we want to know previously before, once you hit the peak to the valley here, okay? So we're going to do a replay, which is a feature of TradingView, which you cannot find it in many of the other platforms in here, only for TradingView. You can hit it here, bar replay, and we set it here, all right? All right, there you see. So we already have this here. And let me just move this up, okay? So what we're going to do is move, okay, we put it here. There you go. So we want to simulate the market. Now you can see here, right? Right now we hit the low here, okay? We hit the low here already. You can see, peak, valley. Once you hit the valley, right, it doesn't go any lower. That's where we start to pay notice. You can switch to a weekly chart. And what we do, we move bar by bar. Okay, let me just make this bigger a bit. Okay, let me just remove this so you can see much better in here, right? And then we're going to move bar by bar here. You can see. So you notice, right? And let me just turn back on the green pentagon again. Okay, so you can see all yellow, right? So I'll turn on the yellow. So I'm going to move bar by bar, 1 bar. Okay, you can see that. Turn this off. Okay, I'm moving bar by bar here. It's just taking the time for this thing to update bar by bar. Okay, let me just move this again, reload. Okay, I'll have to reload this again. Okay, let me just switch this back. Okay, we will change this to AP4. We switch on to a weekly chart before the market runs. Okay, and we'll go on to replay. Okay, we switch it to here. Okay, then we run bar by bar. Okay, you can see the bar moving, right? 1 bar. We just have to wait. It's coming slowly, very slow. You see the bar here? Turning. I see it going down. Okay, going. It's very slowly. Spring. You just wait for that green bar to come out. Okay, turn green, moves up. We are simulating it, right? So the green bar will come up by itself. Okay, there you go, the green bar. So this is the time that you can enter already, right? Before that big move. So same thing you can also do right now. Then the market start to move up. Okay, starting to move up before it hit 107 here. By the time you hit 107, a bit too late. But that green pentagon will definitely move you in to be much earlier in here. You can see now it's moving up, and that's it. Yep, hit it up to here. So that's how how the demo works, okay? So if you can get the Trade VSA plugin here and you can run that demo, so you're able to practice and see when that green pentagon now. Now what we can do, okay, let me just turn this off, is to switch to Harta Lega and any of the rubber glove stock that you have, okay, in here. Like now what you see here, this weekly chart, it hasn't turned, it has still in red pentagon, right? So you can see here now turning. We just need for it to turn to green pentagon. Yes, that is the green pentagon. Okay, so that's the quick one. And again, go and look back at the common characteristic of the stage 1 accumulation before the pentagon, before it turns. Because once it turns, then you're able to get in quickly. And get the VSA plugin if you have not. That's something we are offering right now for the April 13 mini course. If you sign up, then you'll get the course, which is looking for the multi-bagger right in here. So I've come down to the summary right now, okay? The summary in for a rubber glove. This is our third sector review so far in here. So we are saying that AP4 has a better FA than others slightly. It is still in the same industry. It has clean room, glove margins are better, right? It's possible that AP4 started to move up. It's because it is a first mover advantage. And the remaining, like Top Glove, Harta Lega, will follow. So, of course, Top Glove, being the weakest in terms of FA, will be the last to move. I think Harta and Kosa will probably move. So, VSA, learning to read the chart is important. So, right now, you can turn on all the bottom fishing method that we teach. Those of you who want to trade the rubber glove. If not, you can look for other sectors in here using market stages, peak valley, and green pentagon, red pentagon. And pay more attention to charts, just like I talked about in here. When the analyst talks about it on the reports in here, sometimes they can switch and change very fast. But definitely looking at the charts, like what I just shared, running bar by bar, the bar replay, then you're able to see the market much better in here. So that's all I have, a very short update that we have on in here. And do join our Telegram chat room if you have not, so you can keep updated of all our activities, our educational in here. And some of you already asked some questions in here, all right? And you want me to look at in here. There was someone who wanted me to look at the... Okay. So if you have any questions that you want me to look at, feel free to put it in there. And don't forget to go over to our segment here for our Trade VSA and give us a review on our Google feedback that you see on the left hand side, and also for our Facebook if you have enjoyed and feel that this talk, a live Facebook on the rubber glove has so we have one on PayPal. Okay, we're looking at PayPal. Okay. PayPal on the long term, it is facing same thing like what is rubber glove is facing. Okay, it has gone down a fair bit in here. PayPal, to me, I'm still holding it. As I said before, this is a tech sectors, very much similar to the tech sectors. If you are a longer term, I think this one eventually will rebound back, but it will have to be a long wait. This is an industry related problem. It's the same as also Baba, okay, which is the same as this. They all go through the same issue in here. Alibaba yesterday jumped up by, wow, 17% in here, right? That's a pre-jump. Well, today you need jump up money because of the war ending. Let's also take a look at others. AAPL. Yep, all are jumping up. You can see pre-157 in here, which is a 1% in here. Okay, so CK, so take note of that one. PayPal have to hold a bit longer if you're investing, but if you are trading in the shorter term, you would have to cut much earlier already, right, on the US stocks in here. All right, as for my comment on the US stock, check out the morning podcast that I talk about on our Telegram channel in here. I gave you my opinion and what's likely to happen in here. If not, I will stop tonight in here. Okay, if there's no other comments or stocks inside here. So I'll see you on Friday together on our breakfast show in here. And also for some of our members, we have a special class on Friday night. So make sure you join me at 8 o'clock for this special session in here. And I bid you a great and good night. And thank you for coming tonight. Thank you.